Well, thank you, Joanna. Welcome to this grilling. Can I start off? Can I start off by asking you just to outline a bit about your background in medicine, your training, and some of your early jobs?
Yeah, of course. So my background in medicine actually started with a science degree. I read natural sciences, thinking I wanted to be a biochemist. But I fairly early on realised that I just love being with people and love the clinical aspects of what I hoped would be a enjoyable medical career. So I changed from natural sciences and qualified as a doctor. And so I'm a consultant in obstetric medicine and in obstetrics and gynecology. And many people might not be familiar with the subspecialty of obstetric medicine. It's relatively new, but essentially I look after women who are pregnant, who've either pregnancy with a medical disorder or have developed one during the pregnancy.
And you touched on the interest in medicines. What piqued your interest in the kind of the therapeutics aspect?
So I think it's always been there, but it's become more intriguing as the years have gone by. And the main aspect that intrigues or frustrates me about medicines in pregnancy is the lack of information, the lack of evidence. And yet really we haven't yet developed a situation where we can effectively trial drugs in pregnant women. Pregnant women are still excluded from so many of the clinical trials.
That just reminds me of another article that we were involved with a few years ago, which was the vitamins in pregnancy article.
Yes.
Is that still an issue? At the time we talked about actually the very few vitamins that you absolutely need to have during pregnancy if your diet is sufficient. So, obviously folic acid and possibly vitamin D, but most other things, if you're eating reasonably, you shouldn't need. Has that changed? Is there still a huge demand and people buying all sorts of pregnancy specific vitamins?
Oh, David, you've hit on one of my other real bugbears here, these pregnancy-specific vitamins. Back of the bus, huge adverts telling women to buy very expensive branded pregnancy multivitamins. And you're absolutely right. The evidence base is that pregnant women need folic acid before they get pregnant in early pregnancy to reduce the chance of the baby having spina bifida. There's reasonable evidence that they need a vitamin D supplement, particularly if it's winter, particularly if they're dark-skinned or covered, to make sure there's enough vitamin D for their own bones and muscles and their baby's bones and muscles. There's a tiny amount of evidence in women on a very poor and very restricted diet in a very deprived part of East London, suggesting that a multivitamin may help improve the outcome. But the rest of it's been clever marketing. And women absolutely feel they're doing the right thing by buying a glossy packet full of glossy tablets. I try when I can to point them to a healthy diet and the two vitamins that they need, folic acid and vitamin D. But I feel it's a bit of an uphill struggle. And despite our wonderful article in the DTB, I'm not sure we've got the message out there yet.